Let's pull up JP. JP, you're famous on the internet today, man. I got people messaging me like, "This is JP kid. What's going on?" You know. So well done. All right, so JP, I'm going to throw out some objections.
Yep.
I'm going to be the prospect, okay? And I want to see how you react. And uh, I just hit you up about 5 minutes ago, or about 10 minutes ago, and I said I'm just going to randomly throw them out. So there's no preparation on your part.
I have the script that you sent me, right? All the objections, I have them ready though. Don't worry.
Okay, you ready? Okay, so you ready for the first one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first one, I was thinking about doing this. Um, yeah, JP, I really like this. This is my last like $10,000. Like this is a really large investment. So I just gonna have to wait.
Okay.
Just a really
Well,
large investment.
you said something really important there, Jeremy, is that's a big investment for you. I appreciate you for sharing that, number one. But the question I'd have is money out of the equation. Do you actually feel like we can help you with getting to where you need to be?
Yeah, I feel like I can. I mean, I'll just do it, down the road when I've saved up a little bit
Understandable.
more
Like,
money.
why do you feel like money out of the equation, we can actually help you with getting to where you need to be?
Well, I know you guys train a lot of people in my industry. I've seen
Sure.
testimonials, like,
Well,
I,
apart from
I've
them,
tried
like
some of the free stuff.
apart from that, I'm talking about the results that you will get. What will that mean for you?
Well, I definitely want to sell more. That's for sure.
Yeah.
My spouse, she's like all over my back.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on what way you view the money, right? Because once you have the skills, what will come with those skills?
What do you mean with the skills?
Like, so once you have the skills, what you will have more of.
Oh, I'd make more sales, right? Yeah,
Yeah, right. Because
right.
you're
Okay.
smart, right? You're like most of our successful clients who don't view money as a problem, but they view money as like a symptom, right? Because you know once you have the skills, you will have more money. But what it can help you with is the investment. What it can't help you with, though, is the actual commitment to be willing and wanting to change to have that future for yourself and your family. So that's something you're actually committed to, just so we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm committed to it. I just, maybe if you give me a couple months, it's like my last like 10, $11,000. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I just need to save up some money.
Is it more like uncertainty around the investment, or do we just not have the full investment? Just so I can understand.
I have the funds in my
Okay.
bank. It's just a. Amount, you
Yeah.
know. I just
Well, ask yourself.
it's my last amount.
Well, ask yourself this question: if you knew you couldn't fail, would you do it?
Of course. I mean, everybody, if I didn't think I could fail, of course I would do it for sure.
Well, how will you ever know if you don't try it and you actually do it? So, is it fair to say then what you're feeling is a little bit of uncertainty?
Yeah, you could say that,
Are we
you
on?
could
I
say
can
that
say
for
that,
sure.
or it's actually what you're feeling? I just want to make sure we're on the same page so I can help you.
Yeah. I'm just a little bit,
And be honest with me because I want to help you, man. Like,
yeah,
where does that
yeah.
uncertainty actually come from?
Mm, I tried a training program like this a couple years ago, and it just didn't feel like I really got results. Like
Okay.
there's a lot of hype and stuff. I know this is different, but I
Oh,
just,
no, 100%. No, I appreciate you for sharing that 100%. I guess when it comes to those experiences, like I've had some myself, so I understand how you're feeling. It's one or two ways of overcoming it, right? Because it's like
Mhm.
Elon Musk. Do you know how many businesses he started before he became hyper successful?
Shoot, I have no idea. Wasn't it like PayPal or something?
Like nine, right? Businesses before
Oh
he became
wow.
successful. So
Okay.
what differentiates him and someone who isn't hyper successful is that he didn't what?
We didn't give up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So is there
Okay.
any reason why you should give up even after that bad experience to be able to put yourself and your family in a better position?
Yeah, I mean I get what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
like it's just
I
it's a
understand it's
large
hard.
amount of money.
Yeah, I understand it's hard. It's not supposed to be easy. But did anyone say you getting from 5 grand a month to 30 grand a month was ever going to be an easy thing for you to do? It's going to be hard. We're going to be challenging you. And it starts with today on this conversation. And I'm not asking you to make a
Mhm.
decision based on where you are. The Jeremy is making 5 grand a month. I'm asking you to make a decision on the Jeremy who's making 30 grand a month, who's been able to change his family's life and do the things that he needs to. What would that Jeremy, if it were him in this position right here right now, what would he do? Does he overcome that adversity or does he let it overcome him?
I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I mean I guess I need to overcome it, you know. Um
What do you feel like you need to do to put yourself and your family best position going forward?
Yeah. I mean, I know I need to do something, you know. Do you have anything cheaper?
I could have something cheaper, but is that going to benefit you?
I guess it could be a start or something. Like how much like
Well, it
how
depends,
like
right?
yeah.
I could sell you something cheaper, but with cheaper things, don't you think it would typically take longer to get to the result that you're looking for?
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that
And the
before.
longer it takes to get there, what do we leave on the table?
Yeah, more sales. I
So what's
get
actually
that.
going to cost more? Is it for you to just spend the 10 grand now so you can get the skills you need for yourself and your family? Or for you to just pay 5 grand and you're probably going to upgrade later and you waste 6 months of commission checks you could be having to put yourself and your family in a better position?
Yeah, that's a valid point. I never thought about it like that before. Um, do you guys have a payment plan?
Do you need a payment plan? Or is it just a little bit more comfortable?
I don't know, like could I split it up?
No, you could, but it's the reason you're wanting to do that just because it's a little bit more comfortable. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
can I share a different perspective with you on that?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Because where do humans grow? Do humans grow from a place of comfort or uncomfort?
Yeah, yeah, I got yeah. Yeah, my
Uncomfort, for
sales
sure.
manager always talks about like, getting uncomfortable, don't want to be stay comfortable, be uncomfortable. I get
Yeah.
that.
And I understand it's hard and uncomfortable for you to do something like that. But through the program, when you
Mm,
come in, what are we gonna consistently be doing? Is putting you in uncomfortable decisions, you making things and doing things that you haven't done before so you can get a different outcome for yourself and your family. And it doesn't start tomorrow, it starts today on this conversation so you can make a different decision and start doing things not the way you always have to get a different result. Can I challenge you to do that on this conversation today for yourself and your family?
yeah, yeah, we could. Um, what's my guarantee though that it'll work out?
Guaranteed. There's over 33,000 testimonials. Well, what's gonna make Jeremy mind of that one guy who comes in and doesn't get results?
Well, I don't know. Like,
If you don't know, I don't know, right? I don't think you're gonna come here and be that one guy who comes in and doesn't get results. I'll tell you this much, man. Obviously, if you don't put in the work, you won't get the results. It's just
hmm,
about putting in the work, committing those 3 hours a week, which we both know mean you that you can do that and you
hmm,
will do that for yourself and your family, so you can get the results that
hmm.
all these other people have to.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
hardest part is,
Well,
taking that step, man. On top of that ladder. You can't always see on top of that ladder. You just have to start climbing.
do you guys have funding options? Like,
Again,
could I?
do
Okay,
you,
maybe we should try that.
okay.
Okay. All right. Good job, JP.
Thank you.
Was
That's
that
what.
a was that a typical prospect? Did they kind of
Yeah, that was
go
about
all
it.
over the place?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
typical.
Did you see? Okay, did everybody see that? There's some really good things that JP did there. So, somebody tell me what do you feel like JP did really well there? Somebody tell me real quick. Because what did I have like six different objections, and sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes, you know, you'll start to resolve one, and then they'll go somewhere else, right? Everybody noticed that typically happens. It's not usually just one thing. You guys with me on that? It's usually like once you start getting better at the gap, sometimes you can narrow it down to like one thing at the beginning. But in the beginning, when you're learning this, like there'll be three, four, five different things. Okay. And if you don't uncover those, they might still not buy, even though you felt like you overcame the one objection, they've got three more. And those were the real objections, the core of it. But usually that first objection they say is kind of the surface level objection. So it's almost like, when I show you guys like when you ask like your first situation questions, usually they're going to give you kind of the surface of what's really going on. That's why you can't bind that story. You got to keep clarifying and probing to get them to open up more. It's kind of the same thing in objection handling. So you get that one objection, and usually that's kind of like the surface level objection, and there's usually something else behind there. So okay, so yeah, he didn't bind his story, was detached. Yes, Drew, that was really good. Had some identity frames there. Yes. Uh, Andrea, good. Carol stayed neutral and same team to solve the objective together. See, this is really important. Remember, I always talk about selling is collaborative. That's exactly what I mean. Because you want the prospect to feel what? That you're on the same team as them, that you're working on this together to find a solution for them because you care about them and you're concerned about the consequences of what happens if they don't change. Because we already know what the consequences are if they get off this call, don't invest in the training. What are the consequences?
They don't sell. They don't have the future they
Like,
need.
like nothing is going to change for these people.
Yeah.
Like they have no plan. They're going to wake up the next day feeling like SHIT because they still have no plan. They have no step-by-step plan on how to sell more. They have no idea. So they're in the same freaking situation. So this is why JP's doing this for him, not to him. Okay. Callum, looping. Yeah. How many times did you guys count that he looped there? I lost count. It's probably over 10.
Hmm.
And that has to happen sometimes. Okay. Certainty. Yes, count. Everybody hear that his tonality. He was certain. Guarantee we have 30,000 testimonials. That's certainty. But if I'm like, well, like, I'm all timid, like there's no certainty there. Okay. Not instant downselling or payment plans. Yes. See, that's certainty. Okay. And that collaboration, he's not going to buy into that story. Now, worst case scenario, if he helps me try to overcome it, and it's like 10 minutes later, and he's like, man, because you get to a certain point where you can kind of read the prospect's tonality and their body language. Everybody get that?
Yeah,
And
100%.
like, okay, I got to downsell at this point, or I got to get a payment plan at this point. Like if I keep pushing here, they're going to go over the edge. But a lot of us do that too soon. JP, good job on that. Here's what I would tweak. Okay. Everything you did was really, really good. Once you start to slow down a little bit on some of those frames and pace them out more, they'll emotionally connect even more. And they will feel loud. They will feel a lot of internal tension and they'll like, it's over. That verbal pacing. So I'm strategically doing it. Okay. So, because the first thing I would have done, okay, is when they said it's just a large investment, I would have said, it's a large investment so you can have the skills so you sell more.
Mm.
Now tell me why would I do maybe just that first question there first?
It creates
What am I
doubt.
trying to do? Yeah, it creates doubt of their what?
Way of thinking.
Way of thinking. Now, did you see how I said it though?
Yeah.
Because if I was like, wait a minute, it's a large investment for you to sell more
Yeah.
compared to, hold on, it's a large investment for you to master selling so you can sell more.
Mm.
See that pace of that. There's more of a, see the emotional connection. Now, remember, the first thing I'm doing here, the reason why I'm doing this, JP and everybody else, is because where is this prospect at that says this is a large investment? This is my last money. What is he thinking? He's in what? Price or
Price-based thinking.
cost-based thinking. So see how I'm starting to reframe him into what now with just that one question? Results. Okay, so I'm doing that first. So I'm going to set it up first. Okay. And then I could do different things. I could do exactly what you did. I really like that, where it was like, well, money aside, do you feel like the training will help you get where you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
I could say that like you did, but I'm just going to pace that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I could, this is called, I call it the intention frame. I've had people steal this from me now, but it's really good. So I set that up and then I say, because I'm sure, your real intention is not to like hold on to the $9,800 in your bank account and like, pet it, like, hope and pray it's going to last in your bank account forever, right? Your real intention is to what? Never have to worry about money again, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to put you in the best position for you to get the skills so you never have to worry about money again?
Hmm. I like that. I could use that with the problem symptom as well when I use that entry frame at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But did you see how I did that?
Yeah.
So
Pacing.
just telling you, man, if you when you start verbal pacing that out, like shifting the tone, dude, people will melt, and
Yeah.
it's the best feeling in the world. Let's see here. Mm, Jimmy, what else did you notice? There were so many other good things here that he did. Jimmy, what else did you notice?
Well, something that JP always does really, really well is
Mm,
he understands what he wants the prospect to become, not what the
mm,
prospect is saying. So
yeah,
every time that you hesitated or you backed in, like, or you even gave, I think one of the biggest things, you kind of identified it, but I don't think most people notice, you gave him multiple ways out, right?
yeah,
Meaning there was
yeah.
multiple times where you're like, okay, cool. Like, what about this, or what about payment options or things? Most sales reps see that as a win, right? Like, cool, like just do
Mm,
the payment option, let's go for it. And not that that's a bad thing, but
mm.
JP knows where he wants the customer to be and how to deliver that.
So what JP and until Jimmy gets what JP did there
Yeah.
is he's collaborating with the prospect. He's not everybody remember write this down. He's not buying into his story. He's not buying into the prospect story.
Jamie, I
You
have a question.
automatically go, oh, okay, payment plan. You just bought into their story. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, I have a question. So, like, when it comes to verbal pacing, I think the reason why I don't do it because I don't know. I've installed this belief system in my mind, right? Where it's like the longer it takes for someone to be objection handled, the longer it's going to, or the harder it's going to be to close them, right? Because the way I feel is the longer that objection handle takes, the harder it's going to be to close them. So maybe that's why I go
Okay.
so quick with objection handling. I'd love to see your perspective
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Well, my perspective is when you verbal pace and do that stuff, you emotionally connect. And
Mm.
I don't get the other six objections that you're getting after.
Mm.
So I
Okay.
save time. So like, so it's the same thing. When I talk about objection prevention throughout the conversation, JP, what
Yeah.
I'm doing is objection prevention is not just like, some frames. That's part of it, but it's my pacing, it's the tonality, it's the emotional connection.
Yeah.
That part is where the sale is made and I get way less objections. So
Yeah.
by default, I'm not on the call very long. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And
100%.
even if they fail credit or anything, they're like, oh my gosh, I'll get the title for my truck. I'll do this. Like they are like literally like scraping up funds. Like they are selling off, their goats, their chickens. Like they're doing anything they can
Yeah.
do.
100%.
So when I say when you pace out like that, like you guys have heard me like go through like connection and situation questions and role play, and you're like, holy crap, like you went through all that in like 3 minutes. That's what verbal pacing. That's what the tonality shifts because I get them to open up real quick and I find out stuff real quick and I know where to take them. Okay. So the same thing is true with objection handling. If I emotionally connect right there and I pace that stuff out, I usually don't get those other objections behind because it's already done. Like they just resolve it in their own brain. If that makes sense. So you with me on that? That's
Yes.
why. So it's the same thing, guys. Everybody's read a book that says 93% of your communication is your what? Your nonverbal. What is nonverbal? That's your body language and your tonality. Now, 7% is the words. Now, that's an old study. New studies show it's about 30% is your words, but 70% of you closing every deal is how you ask the questions. What does how mean? Your pacing, your tonality, your body language. That's 70% of you making the deal, not just the words. I could take the worst script on the planet, but because of the pacing skills, the verbal pausing, bridging from question to question, it sounds conversation, the tonality goes 3 to 5 times more with the worst script compared to the guy that has a script written by me that doesn't know any of that. JP, you ready for another one?
Is there? Are we doing pre-handling now?
Now, rejection handling. We're still going.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, this is really good. It's a lot right now, and I'll come back. Don't worry. I'll come back here in a couple of months. Like I'm watching his YouTube videos. I'm watching all his IG stuff. It's helped me. Like,
And
let me
I don't
keep
mean to,
doing
I don't
working.
mean to,
Yeah,
I
let
don't
me.
mean to interrupt you. You said something really, really important. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you mentioned it's a lot of money. I guess, how do you mean by that? Just so I can get a good understanding.
Well, the 26,000 for a year inner circle. It's a little bit, just a little bit of money for me now. But I've got the YouTube stuff, so
Okay.
let me keep going through that. It's helping.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess, question for you, man. Money out of the equation is something you actually feel like can help you with getting to where you need to be.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's
Oh,
bias. Like I see all the testimonials. Yeah,
right.
for
And I
sure.
guess why do you feel like it can for you personally though?
Well, I mean, I'm getting results from the YouTube channel. I can only imagine like what would happen if I had the training, for sure.
Yeah. There you go, right? Because you're smart, right? Like you know that there's two types of people. It's the people who go to the free resources and just try to like enroll in everything that's free and hope that that's the result that gets them to where they need to be, or the people who know everything's like going to the gym, right? You can go by yourself and get the result 1 to 2 years by doing it all by yourself, or getting a personal trainer where you could get those results in 90 days. But the biggest thing about sales specifically is the quicker we get to our destination, what do we save?
Mm, I'm gonna say time. Yeah, for sure.
What else, right? Because you're making deals, right? So the longer it takes, will we not be leaving possibly some deals on the table?
That's a good point. I never thought about it like that.
Which would mean what for you though? You leaving deals on the table,
Well, I'm losing sales. Yeah.
right? Because you know that because you're like most of our successful clients, you don't view money as like a problem. You view it as like a symptom, right? Because you're smart. Because you know once you
Mm.
have the skills, you're gonna have what with the skills?
More sales. Yeah, more sales for sure. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Jeremy's YouTube channel and like the paid training though?
What do you feel like is the difference, man? If you really thought about it.
Just more of it or what?
If you really thought about it, when you go to the gym and you go by yourself, by going through all the free content online, or you go to a
Mm.
gym with a personal trainer, what is the main difference that typically happens?
Mm, well, you get the results faster. No, I get that. I get that. So okay, what's the next?
Why do you get the results faster? I just want you to really understand this so we're on the same page.
Well, because you have somebody there helping you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's typically what happens when you get in our training programs. That's why we have over like 33,000 testimonials. But like, if you can be
Mm.
honest with me, is it more like uncertainty
Yeah.
around the investment, or do you just not have the full investment? Just to see if I can help. I'm not sure I can yet.
No, I got the funding. That makes sense. Okay, I'm in. Okay, now did everybody? I want to make sure everybody type in what you feel like JP did well there because I want to make sure a lot of you guys are noticing this because I was on with I think Noah in my pod yesterday, and uh, Noah was like giving, and he knows what to do now because he's smart, right? And Noah was like telling the guy a lot of statements, and I said, you got to turn those statements, and you can start them into a statement, but it's got to end as a question where they tell you. Is everybody noticing that JP is doing that? He's not just telling me I need to, you need to do this, you need to do that, and here's why. Because that, if he says, well, from my perspective, or my recommendation is you do this, the prospect doesn't buy into that most of the time. Can anybody tell me why? If I
You're,
say, well, my recommendation is you do this, why does a prospect not necessarily buy into that?
you're a salesperson.
JP? Yeah,
They
you're
think,
biased.
yeah, you
Yeah,
think you're
yeah,
not for them, and you're biased, of course.
yeah. So if I shift in that, it's like, well, I can tell you what our other clients from your industry do.
Hmm.
Would that help you? See, now that's other clients. I can tell you what our other clients in your industry do. Would that help you? See, now that's more easy to buy in because it's other third party people from their industry. Does that make sense? I'm saying that. I
Yeah.
don't need to give names because I'm not going to like, here's go call some names, but I can tell you what our other clients from your industry do. Would that help you? Okay. But notice how he's going into that frame and he's asking that open-ended question at the end where now they tell him, but more importantly, who are they telling? They're telling themselves.
Yeah.
That's self-persuasion. Is everybody getting this? This is really important. And it's the same when I ask questions in the discovery part of the conversation. I'm doing some of the same things, right? Now, the identity stuff was really good. The only thing I would do a little bit differently there, because I think it'll work even better for you, is I take them back to what they said they were, winger, dabbler, or know-it-all.
Yeah.
That's why the framing up front in situation is so important because when they come back to an objection, depending on what it is, if he's, I don't even know what objection, like the free stuff.
Hmm.
Well, where is the free basic content got you right
Hmm.
now? Yeah. Because look, I know you want to commit to master. You'd mentioned you have been what? A dabbler.
Yeah.
And what does the dabbler typically do? Yeah, remember? Like you had said, they watch the free basic stuff and they believe the lie that if they just stand long enough, if they just get enough reps, eventually they'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And where does that strategy take them? Yeah. So where do you want to be? See, I could do that too. So I just take them back to the identity that they said they were. Does that make sense, everybody? That's why I always say, do the identity stuff at the end of situations so you can build that into. So if they ever say probably, hold on. Would someone who's committed to master say probably they need to get better? Or would a dabbler say something like that? I know you want to be a dabbler, right? So I can always use that. That is an identity they don't want to be associated with. They want to move away from that. Okay. Jimmy, go ahead.
So I'm curious on your take with this because I'll throw JP under the gun. He's fine with that. We do this all the time. JP always claims that he has a fundamental belief of where all objections come from, and that's where he kind of focuses with his objections. JP, would you agree with that or no? Am I off?
Yes, 100%.
What's your fundamental belief where they come from?
I believe there's 3 objections, right? Which is money, fear, logistics. Like those are the only 3 objections I already believe, right? So everything else is either a saying of one of those objections, right? For example, someone says, "Hey, I want to go through the free resources." They're only saying that because if they knew they couldn't fail, they would do it, right? They wouldn't want to go through the free resources. So they're feeling what? Uncertainty. So I feel like that's a type of uncertainty, which is fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that is true. Let me give you even deeper than that. All objections come from one thing and one thing only. Human beings have a fear of change.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where every objection comes from. Now, why do we have a fear of change, even though we say we want to change? Because it's a fear of the what? The unknown. Does that make sense? And a human being has to pay you, the salesperson, to find out what that unknown is. And that's scary because we're changing. We have a fear of change. Our brains were built to keep us safe. Our brains were built, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. Our brains were built to keep us safe in the same spot. Our brains were never designed to actually grow and become whoever we want to. Brains were never designed to do that. They were designed to keep you safe, okay, in your comfort zone. I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable. So even though this is why, does that make sense? Why people respond to ads? Hey, help me. I've got a problem. They wouldn't respond to the ad. They wouldn't buy the black book. They wouldn't opt in if they didn't know they had some issues, right? Does everybody get that? When they show up to the call, that's why, like, they show up to the call because they know something's going on, right? But still at the end, they still have a fear of change.
100%.
So every objection comes from that core of a fear of change. So JP, you're right. It's the fear of change, and then it goes to lack of, they feel like they can't get the money, or they have the fear, and sometimes it's logistical. Sometimes, when you say logistical, you mean like they don't feel like they have enough time?
No, that's not logistical at all. Everyone has the time. I don't believe that. I just think it's the money side of things. Like logistical, okay, how can we find the money? Like it's not really an objection. I mean, just like, are we gonna split it up? What way are we gonna do the payment? That's the way I look at it.
It depends. Some will have. I would say logistics is part of time, because some people will feel like if you're a busy person like me, and I'm like, I see 17 training calls a week, I'm like, man, I don't have time.
Yeah.
But remember how I told you like how to resolve that? Because most of the time that's not even an objection.
Yeah.
If you simply ask like, well, how much time do you feel like you would need to really get into the training? I don't know, like 6 hours a week. Well, I mean, our clients in your industry, they don't start with 6 hours a week. They're working like 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I mean, they're doing like 20, 30 minutes a day, like while they're driving around. Do you feel like you could do 20 or 30 minutes a day so you could sell more?
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, you used that the other day, and what happened?
Yeah, he was like, oh. He was like, oh, I thought I needed way more time. And then he's like, no, okay. And then it was way easier.
See, that's what I'm saying, guys. A lot of you guys like go into objection handling mode, and it's not even an objection. He just didn't understand because he saw 19 training calls a week, and that freaks people out. That's why I always say, like, don't say all the training
But even
calls.
like
Like,
when it's important to know this, it's not just with that. Also, like when people say like, "Oh, is there a guarantee?" It's like you see how I just laughed at the objection. I'm like, guarantee, man. Why are you not going to get results? I didn't like had to go into objection handling mode to like overcome it and make it really intense. I was like, well,
yeah,
guarantee. There's over 33,000 testimonials. What's going to make you so different? And then of course, if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the result. And then we can go that route, and it
yeah,
just lowers your
yeah,
guard, not taking it so
yeah,
serious where you feel like it's intense.
yeah, yeah. That's really good. It's just a certainty in it. Like, well, guarantee. Well, we have 33,000 testimonials. We got thousands for industry. So if it's working for them, what
Yeah,
would prevent it working from you?
yeah,
Hold on. Does it only work for people that have black hair and you're
yeah,
blonde? Is that what it is? See, I like you could joke with them like, oh, and they just laugh. Or I
yeah,
could say, well, yeah, I guess, well, what guarantee are you going to give to me?
yeah,
Because how can I guarantee that you're going to go through the training and actually follow through and do it? Can I guarantee that you're going to do that for me? Yeah, I can do that. Now, what I can guarantee you is, like our client said from your space, is that I can guarantee that we're going to train you the skills necessary to get to that level. But what are you going to have to guarantee me once we teach you those skills? See, I just reframed it back to them. I
yeah.
could do that too. That's another way. That's really good, JP. Tell me what you guys mean by logistical, just so I'm on the same page, because maybe I'm thinking something
So
different.
typically when we actually define logistical, it's meaning there's a logistical problem to where they don't have funds, they don't have credit, things of that nature. Like there literally is they want to do the program, et cetera, they don't have it. So how do you just make sure to sniff it out that it's actually
It
something that
it
preventative?
it I will tell you sometimes that depends because they could have the funding, but what if they've got $300,000 in their 401k and they don't have 17,000 in their bank account to pay today? That in my mind is logistical, if that makes sense. But I'm
One,
finding out that I can tell by me like sniffing that out if they really do or they just make an excuse or not.
yeah.
Go ahead, JP.
No, I take a $1 down payment and get them to take it out. I know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, you take a down payment. You don't let them get off. Like you
Yeah,
definitely take the down payment.
yeah,
So you take the down payment, but there is. I would just want to make sure everybody understands. Like, let's say if you're selling IC, somebody might not have 17,000 in their checking account right then and there, or on a credit card that has 17,000.
yeah,
They might be, and I can read that by how they respond to me and how open they are, or if they're like kind of closed. Does that make sense? You
yeah,
guys, like I said, mastering selling takes time because you have to, you can't master selling in a year or 2 or 3 years or anything like that, not even close, because the more reps you put in, the more your brain starts to recognize patterns from prospects, like tonality patterns, facial patterns, like how they respond when you go to close, and you start to see that. And
yeah,
you know if they're lying to you, or like, hey, they really do, they don't have the 17,000 in their checking account, they've only got 4, so I'm going to have them put down at least a few thousand as a down payment while it takes them 3 or 4 days to get the funding out of their 401k or whatever. Now, while they're getting their funding out of the 401k, which sometimes can take a week, what am I going to be doing? Am I just going to like not talk to them for 4 days and hope and pray they come back?
yeah.
Or what would I probably need to make sure they do?
Watch testimonials, get some training in.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to send them something each day, and I'm going to call them, and I'm
Yeah.
going to talk to them for 3 or 4 minutes each day while they're getting the funding. Okay, hey, I sent you that training Jeremy did on this and this. What did you get out of that? Oh, you did. Okay, yeah, that's a big reason why people get in this because he goes far more into depth, like in the inner circle mastery, where he shows how to tie in. Now let's see, you were getting your funding from your 401k. How's your funding coming?
Mm.
See how I just get in there. I don't call them like, hey, did you get your money? You know, does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Perfect.
All right, JP, you got a question?
Yeah, I was just actually gonna say something about what Jimmy said. The way I typically find out if it's a logistical objection, like in terms of the money side of things, the way after I do my reframe about money, about like what way they're viewing it, and I reframe their way of thinking on it, I ask the question, which is like, is it more uncertainty around the investment, which would lead into the fear slash uncertainty, or is it that you just don't have the money? You can be honest with me so I can help. And in that way,
Yeah,
I understand where is it fear, or is it that they actually do not have the money, and we actually need to create a game plan for them, and that's how I
yeah,
typically.
So tell me that again. Is that tell me it again. I'm going to show you a little tweak. Tell me that again. Is it
Yeah.
this or this? Tell me that again.
Is it more like just uncertainty around the investment, Jeremy, or is it that you just don't have the full investment? Just to see if I can help you, man, because I'm not sure we can just yet.
Okay. So you said something before.
I typically
Just be honest with me. I like that. I would just say, be real. Now hold on. Be real with me.
Yeah.
Because you're a salesperson that wants to sell more. We're a sales training company that helps people in the industry sell more.
Yeah.
Would you say we're on the same team?
Mhm.
Yeah. So you can be real with me. Is it just uncertainty around, will this work for me once you invest? Or is it just like, I don't have any funds and I'm about to go homeless?
Yeah.
Which one is it? See how I shifted that a little bit? Did you see how I said, or is it you just don't have enough funds and you're about to go homeless?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go homeless.
Yeah.
See how I'm doing that? Did
Yeah.
everybody see that little tweak I did there? Why did I do that? Why did I say, or you don't have enough funds and you're about to go homeless? Why would I say you're about to go homeless?
Because it makes a joke out of the situation. It could be a little bit serious for them.
But
yeah,
but
go ahead.
I was just gonna add, but then also if they're not actually gonna go homeless, then they probably have the funds.
And
Yeah. So because a lot of times, guys, I want to make sure everybody understands. Most of these people have the funds or they can get the funds. Even if they tell you they can't afford it, I want to make sure you understand they can get the funds. 9 out of 10 of them. I kid you not. You're just buying into their story, believing that they're saying that. That's how many times do you tell a salesperson, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, and you damn well know you could get the money if you really wanted to. There you go. You just answered your own question. Okay. So just never buy into that story. So the reason why I'm making it funny, or is it just you don't have the funding and you're about to go homeless? Because if I said, or you just don't have the funding, they might say, no, I just don't have the funding. Or you're about to go homeless. It's like, no, I'm not going to go homeless. And it helps them realize I do have the funding. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, no, I think I want people to understand why I asked this question. And because, again, from my belief, there's 3 objections. So if I've already covered the money, reframed their way of thinking about the money itself, I know it's only left to 2 things, which is uncertainty/fear or logistics. So I ask a question around those 2 to be able to get them lead into the objection handling process that I need them to be in and actually handle the real objection.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. And I will tell you, JP, because that's really brilliant that you said that. Once you really start working on your verbal pacing, your tone out and the shifts, and there's more of that emotional connection, when you resolve that first concern, the other concerns, they just kind of resolve them themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
I will tell you that.
I
keep going.
But in terms of what would you do in terms of is there anything you do, and maybe you just don't do it, but to get them to feel like you're on the same level? Well, sometimes before I'd ask an impact question, I'd want to be like, yeah, I 100% understand how you're feeling. I've been there, and then go into my impact question because it makes them feel like
I like that. I like that better than just always be careful, guys, of saying oh, I totally understand, or oh, that's not a problem. In that situation, if they're like, it's a lot of money, oh, that's not a problem. That doesn't make sense to say that right there. Or I understand. Just say, it's interesting because, a few years ago, before I really mastered selling, I kind of thought some of the same things. I could do that and then go into it.
I like that.
Because that builds the trust,
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I thought kind of the same things back when I was a dabbler.
Yeah. I like
What
that.
would somebody who's committed to mastery think? I could do that too. So just, just be careful. Yeah. Just if you guys say if you guys say I appreciate it, like JP says, you can't say, I really appreciate that. Now, money aside, would you do it? That sounds disingenuous. But if I'm I appreciate you sharing that with me, because you're a salesperson that wants to sell more, right? That's why you came here. That's why people come to us. We're a sales training company that trains you the skills to help you sell more. So would you say we're on the same team? Okay. And then I go into it. I could do that too. So that's good. Does that help everybody? This is a really good session. Now, on the next session, next Wednesday, we're going to do more objection handling.
Can I request something?
We're going to, go ahead. Yes.
Do we do pre-handling next session?
Yeah, we can do some of that. There's a couple more objections that I want you to help these guys. We'll do some I think all next week, we're going to do pre-handling and objection handling. All right, guys. Let's
Got it.
kick butt today. Help a lot of people. See you guys soon. Well done, JP. Thanks for sharing, everybody. Everybody get for JP. Give him some love.
Bye.
Okay, guys. See you soon. Well done.